Hi, and welcome to Women Reinventing Midlife, where we focus on inspiring women over 50 to thrive in a meaningful life that you deserve. Here you're going to find real life stories from women over 50 to inspire you to reinvent your life, your career, your business, relationships, health, in fact, any aspect of life. You're also going to find tips on mindset, wellness and style to guide you to increase confidence and vitality in your 50s, 60s, 70s and beyond. And today we have an incredibly inspirational story to share with you because I'm joined by Adriana Braid. So Adriana is the founder and the studio director of Painting Party Cairns. And she has a fabulous story because in March 2016, she was working as an EO when she hit a real life fork in the road and she chose to walk down a different path. She got the entrepreneurial bug and she sought the help of a coach. And that's where Adriana and I first connected, and less than a year later, she opened the doors to her first painting party studio, which was a brand new concept for Cairns. Now she's in her 6th year in business and she has 3 staff, including a new instructor. Ady, welcome. I had no idea, honestly, how big your business had grown.
Thank you so much. What a beautiful introduction. And I hear that back, I go, is that really me?
Oh my goodness, that is that's such an achievement. Achievement. Congratulations.
Yeah. It hasn't been an easy thing to do, but there's a lot to be said for perseverance and passion and pushing through. Sometimes something is right and is going to work, and then the people around you are fearful for you. They don't want you to fail and they don't want to see you trip up, and they do that with love, but sometimes you have to go with your gut and just keep going.
Yes, so
glad that I did.
Yeah, because it feels like a really big step when you take it, doesn't it? A really big step.
Does.
Yeah,
it does. Everything feels new. And I guess throughout my working life, I built up with all the different jobs that I had in marketing, administration, promotions, and all of that kind of stuff. I built up the skill set to do what I'm doing now. It would have been a lot more difficult if I didn't have that passion, that bubble inside that went, yep, this is what I was born to do.
Yeah.
And so now I'm retired. That's how it feels. I don't go to work anymore. I play all day.
Yeah, doing what you love. And it really, and I agree, it really begins with knowing what you're passionate about and following that passion, because that really gives you the drive and the motivation to see it through, doesn't it?
It does. It's almost like, as humans, I've learned that, I'm full of all the imperfections that anyone that's watching this will go, I couldn't do that. But we all start there.
Yeah.
And when you have that passion inside you, it comes through you. There's something different that comes through us, that when we're acting on passion, rather than just a desire to pay the mortgage, so I need a job, and we get trapped in the 9-to-5 economy. Yeah. It's different. So you can work later, working 9-to-5 in comparison to doing what I do now. I now work 24/7, and we couldn't do that without having the passion in our belly and in our hearts and in our minds to keep working on it.
Because it doesn't feel like work, does it? It feels, because when you're in it, you're constantly getting those ideas, aren't you? Different ideas and you might just be in the shower or having dinner and it just pops into your mind. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Somebody else inspires ideas too. And then you go, wow, great, I can apply that to what I'm doing, you know, without copyright and all that sort of issue. It's more about, okay, how can I improve this? Who else is going to enjoy what I can create?
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned, like, you know, it's not like working a 9-to-5 job. What was it like stepping out of a 9-to-5 job? Like, what, you know, how long did it take you to get used to that and get accustomed to working in a different way?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So for 7 years, I worked as an executive officer for an organisation, for a not-for-profit organisation. And that particular organisation didn't have an office. So I had an opportunity to build a home office working for the man in the same timeline. So I was able to flesh out, you know, getting distracted by, oh, I'll just throw a load of washing on while I'm working on this email, you know, or I'll throw the load of washing on and I'll go mow the lawn in my lunch break, you know, and I'm working at home. So you start to go, oh, look, I've got so much time on my hands. And then you realise you haven't got any free time to stop. Do you know what I mean? So it took a long time for me to transition that. And what I learned is, don't talk to people who are still in the 9-to-5 about how to handle working from home or working in your own business. Talk to other business owners, see how they did it.
Yes.
So seeking advice from people that have been where you're at, rather than seeking advice from the people that you would normally seek advice from, was really beneficial.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
Yeah. And you know, it does take discipline and focus.
Yeah.
But it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I agree. So, you know, when you first make that transition, and I was in part of your life when you did make that transition. And
yes.
So can you share with our viewers how you deal with the doubt? Like, how do you deal with the doubt? Because it's a natural occurrence when we do something new. And I know that a lot of women wait until they feel more confident, or they wait until they until the doubt goes away. How did you deal with that part of it? You know, that doubt of, is this going to work? Yeah. Okay, so some of the practical steps that I took was, I had a painting party in my backyard on my back patio, and I invited a handful of business owners. I invited a handful of friends, and then I invited a handful of people that I didn't know very well, who didn't know me. So I actually did a dry run. I sent everyone a big letter explaining what I was doing. And we had about 14 people there. And everyone was excited at the end of the painting party. It was the first painting I'd ever taught. I'd never taught before. I'd never done what I set out to do. I'd never done this before. I just knew how to kind of wing it, I guess. You know, I knew how to facilitate. I knew how to create a PowerPoint display, you know. Yeah.
I knew how to talk to people. I had a lot of the foundations already there. And I just think that practicing moving from the doubt to the sureness of it is part of building the confidence to keep going forward.
Yeah.
Like that book you gave me, Feel the Fear, but do it anyway.
Yeah.
Feel those emotions, but keep going. Don't let those things, and don't let other people's opinions set you back. And, you know, you've got to push past that bit.
Yeah.
And the more you do that, then the more you do that. And then the more you don't even think about it anymore.
Love it. I love it.
You just keep going.
So you actually took some practical steps, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Some practical steps.
Yeah.
And I asked these people, what do you think about this? We did a SWOT test. We did we did these things, and I got a coach. You know, I spoke to you about this, and we worked together for 12 weeks initially. And that gave me, that was like the first stage of my business, really, was the coaching. And in between those 12 weeks, I was developing the brand name, I was developing the design, I was developing in my mind, and I had a vision book. I created a vision book. So I had the studio all planned out. You know, I had floor plans in my mind that I got down on paper before I even had the lease.
Yeah.
I had a vision for this business. I had a vision for the type of events we would have. I drew pictures of people having fun and gathering and connecting and having that vision, and taking those steps allows, or not allows, but defeats the doubt.
Yes. Yeah.
It just gets on top of the doubt every time. So the more you actively control the doubt and any fear that's associated with that, the more you win.
Yeah, love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that, you know, that vision, getting a really clear vision of where you're heading, why you're doing it, really bringing it down into how your events are going to look. It creates that sense of certainty because you can see where you're heading. Yeah. I had some people say things to me that I thought was really unusual, because I don't come from a place of lack. I come from a place of abundance. Yeah, you do.
So when I had someone say to me, because I have not been an artist in my professional life, it's just something I love to do. I love to draw. I love to paint. It's how I figure out the world and the circumstances around me. I use it as therapy. And I think in some ways that the studio was my biggest form of creation around grief, around therapy for myself. I was able to put everything, all of that, into building this business.
Yeah.
So someone said to me, but Ady, I could understand if you were a florist, if you were a trained florist and you opened up a flower shop. But I don't understand, you're not an artist. So how can you open up an art studio? And so for me, that's coming from a place of lack. Yeah. I listened to that advice and flipped it. It actually drove me to almost that place that goes, I'll show you. You know, like, oh my God. And to this day, that particular person is one of my biggest fans.
Wow.
You know, so I will always appreciate that. I will always appreciate that.
Yeah. Wow. She gave you a gift. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
That is incredible. And exactly what you're saying, you're not an artist. We tend to take that identity thing a little bit too far sometimes. It's, you're not an artist, you're not creative. Yeah.
I had one email message from a potential client that said, I was looking at your Facebook page. And of course, this was in my first year, like first 6 months of the business. And so you feel completely naked. You're out there for everyone to either love or hate, or I don't like to use the word hate personally, but you know, and then you get these emails and they go, and the lady said, oh, I was just wondering where you get your inspiration from for your paintings. And I'm thinking, oh my God, does she need to know if I'm like fully trained? Have I been to university? So our monkey mind goes, oh my God, someone's found out, you know, my dirty little secret. It's just my passion. I'm not fully trained. I don't have a university degree. But of course, that comes from our generation.
Yes.
That comes from our generation where you can't do that unless you have a degree. You won't get the job unless you've been to university. So I can understand that from a particular point of view, like a doctor. We want our doctors to have gone and been medically trained in university and all that sort of stuff. As an artist, it's a little bit different. And I learned that the role I was playing was probably more of a business owner than of an artist. But since the beginning, I've become an artist, if that makes sense. I feel like I've done my apprenticeship now, you know.
Yeah.
And I just love it even more.
Yeah, it's the same. It's that identity thing. It's the same as when I moved up here to the far north from down south, and then you're not a local until you've been here this many years, or it's just exactly the same thing. It's the identity thing. Yeah.
And why is it so important for me to know that I'm local?
Yeah.
I'm just me.
Yeah. That's right. And what I want to mention is you actually did this by yourself as well, because I know that there are a lot of women, especially when we reach this phase, and sometimes we think, we've left it too late. But also, and I know this was personally for me for quite a long time, I can't do this because I'm a single mum and I haven't built up that big nest egg behind me. I've got no one to rely on emotionally or financially if things don't work out. And it can really get in the way. Really get in, because it's not true.
Yeah. We go into this, well, who am I to do this?
Yeah.
Who am I to start this business? Who am I to see an opportunity and take it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
And then we have to reevaluate our beliefs around who we are and who we aren't. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Who am I to start this business? Because there's going to be heaps of people around us that say, yeah, who are you to do this? Just go back to work and stay safe.
Yeah.
Just stay safe. You're paying your rent, you're paying your mortgage, you're doing this, you're feeding their kids, they're still going to sport. Who are you to change that?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and it's the best thing I've done because it's enhanced my personal growth. It's actually made me grow a little bit faster in a lot of ways. But the universe works in strange ways. We know this. And I was very, very, very blessed that there was financial assistance, and there was enough financial assistance for me to make some mistakes. Yeah. And that, it's actually something that I explain to our painters. It's the first thing that we talk about when we do a painting party, is that there are no mistakes. You can't make a mistake on a canvas. And we don't make mistakes in life. We just create different ways of doing things.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, it is so true. And even if you do see it as a mistake, it's not really, because if it doesn't work out the way you want it to, it just helps you see a different way of doing something every single time. And it would be the same on canvas. Okay, it didn't work that way. That means there's another way to do this.
That's right. And I can change it. I can paint over it.
Yeah.
And I can dry it off, leave it. Or maybe it was a happy little accident and it's better the way it is. Yeah. It's it's so true. So true. Yeah.
So what is it like being single in your 50s? Tell us a bit about that.
It's funny because in terms of reinvention, it's only just been this week I've stumbled across a lady. I don't recall her last name. Her first name is Alison, and I listened to her workshop on Audible because I've been single for a long time. Now, when I say single, I want to clarify that it's not lonely. I'm not alone. I'm just currently not in a relationship with someone who I would consider my person.
Yeah.
and who would consider me their person.
Yeah.
And I think there's a really important part of understanding and coming to a place of being okay with that. I'm financially okay on my own. I have my own home. I love where I live, and my children have got good foundations, not just financially, because we worry about that with the kids, but they've got good foundations. They're good people. They have a good moral compass, you know, and they're going to trip and fall the same way we all did.
Yeah.
In their early adult lives. So that's okay. And I'm 6 weeks in being in my empty nest.
Wow.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I love what it's doing for me. I love what it's doing for my son. And I love what it's doing for my daughter. And now we're creating this adult relationship between child and mother.
Yes.
And it's not really about them performing or them figuring out how to do that. It's about me as a mother transitioning.
Adjusting, hey, adjustment. Yeah.
Yeah. And since realizing that was a big realization, it actually allows more space in here and in here now to actually, with the intent of love, to welcome a partner into my life for no other reason than to express love.
Yes.
And to have a love relationship. So whereas previously being busy with a business, busy with children, busy being a single mom and all that sort of stuff, there was a lot of kind of almost manic kind of energy in that. So I imagine it would be difficult for a fella to kind of jump in and just go, yeah, I've got this.
Yeah, that's right. Much easier on your own, isn't it? Much easier.
Yeah. So I feel much more happier about being single now and being ready to move into that space whenever that happens. You know, like I'm not in, I don't feel alone and I don't feel lonely.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's interesting. Alison did this workshop with other people. So it was kind of like she recorded this workshop. So there was a lot of interaction with the people there, and they were asking all the questions I had in my mind too, you know, and it's eye-opening to get a good understanding of what men want, what women want.
Yeah.
But more importantly, to be on the table authentically, this is exactly what I want. This is what I want, and knowing what you want in a partner without sort of starting with as we do, because there is a huge cultural difference in dating in your 20s,
yes,
as opposed to now 30 years later dating in my 50s. It's very different, and it's no one's fault.
I know.
It's just like she calls it filing. You've just got to file them. You get out there and you be authentically you, and you just file through the ones that you know, that you could potentially see yourself on a second date with. Yeah. Not marrying, or you know, you don't have to project so forward. Yeah. But if that's what you want, then it's okay to put it on the table on the first day.
I like it. Yeah, absolutely. Why waste time? It's kind of really, you know. And you're wasting time if you're not authentically you and you're trying to be what you think the man wants. I mean, we're done with that. Like, we're done with that.
Oh, I've been on all the apps, and I've dated long distance and just through text message, and I'm no expert, but all of these experiences will add up to who I am when I meet that person. Yeah. You know, so you know, and I hope that the fellas that I've been dating feel the same way. It didn't work out, and that's okay. Doesn't mean they're a bad person, doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It's just being authentically who we are. And for us girls is listening to what they say, because men, I don't think men beat around the bush.
No.
If they say that they're not into personal development, we don't want to be thinking, oh, cool, that's something I can teach you.
Yes. Yeah.
They're not, if they're not into it now in first date, they probably won't be.
Yeah, let go of that idea.
Significant things, you know.
It's true, isn't it? Let go of the idea that, oh, he's got great potential. It's not our job to help him reach his potential. It's is he going to be who you want? Yeah.
Is he going to be who you want to hang out with? And we do this so easily with girlfriends. We hang out with our girlfriends because we like hanging out with them.
Yeah.
And we don't apply that same kind of thing with a partner.
I know.
For some reason, this Neanderthal brain that we were born with goes, oh, he's got potential. Well, we don't marry potential, not in our 50s anyway, but potentially we do in our 20s.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah, isn't it weird? It's so weird. And this is, our 50s and any time after is not, and probably even any time before is not the time to do that. Yeah, because it's not our job to help someone else grow. If they choose to, it's a different matter.
That's right. That's right. And it's good to point out, even if they are into growth and personal growth, we're all still going to, from time to time, be growing in different times. So it waxes and wanes. It's, it goes with the flow of the energy that's around us, and that's okay.
Yeah, I love it. And I love that you're enjoying being in your own space, and that you don't see yourself as lonely, because you look absolutely fantastic. And I know that's another transition that you've made recently, isn't it? A few months ago. Yeah.
I did. Last April, I was 103 kilos. And now today I'm 63 kilos.
Wow, well done. You look fantastic.
Thank
you. Fantastic.
Yeah. It hasn't been a walk in the park, but I'd rather walk in this park.
Yes. Yeah.
I had gastric sleeve surgery on April 6th last year. 2021. It's actually what I consider my new birthday.
I love it. New beginning. I love it.
Yeah. And it's been quite a journey. But a worthwhile one for me. There's a lot of stuff involved in the body rehealing from such a traumatic surgery. And I do believe our bodies do experience trauma from various different types of surgeries, and I can be a little bit, okay, when am I getting back to work? Right. And then your body just goes, you know what? Hang on a minute. And I had to listen to my body. And that was a big part of this healing process over the last 8 years. I put on the weight, experiencing grief, and I ate my way through it. And I didn't even really I always felt good inside anyway. I would look in the mirror at my size 16, 18 self and go, oh my God, I look good. On the inside,
you did. Yeah.
On the inside, it was never I was never looking at myself in the mirror going, oh my God, and then using that self-talk that's not so healthy. Anyone watching this that knows me really well, that's very close to me, has seen those days. But on the bigger picture, I always felt pretty good about myself and all that. Now I don't. It's strange. It's hard to actually articulate the feeling about it, but it feels like I am now the way I was meant to be.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's been like, when I look at myself in the mirror, I still go, oh my gosh, like I've gone from a G cup, you know, to a C cup. That's extraordinary to me. I've always had really big boobs and always been really comfortable with that. So it's getting used to this new feeling, this new feeling of the new body and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's amazing. So the outside is matching the inside now.
Yes. Yeah. And it hasn't been because I'm running marathons or getting fit and exercising and, you know, and busting my gut, losing weight in that way. I've done that before. I lost 16 kilos by walking every day and eating well, and I did that, and I'm so proud of myself, and I did transform. So I knew that I could do it.
Yeah.
This time in my early 50s, I was happy with knowing that I could do it. This time I did it a different way.
Yeah.
Now I can maintain. And it was just tweaking that inability to stop eating.
Yeah.
I knew I didn't have the willpower to do that. And I think that can be a strength, knowing what strengths you don't have.
And how to compensate for that, like how, what you can put in place.
What do you have
instead.
to do differently?
Yeah, that's right.
And the funny thing about this, because it's such a mind game, it is a minefield for a mind game.
Yeah.
You know, I started smoking cigarettes for 4 months, buying them. I mean, I hadn't smoked for years and years and years, and I took up smoking cigarettes again. I've since quit smoking cigarettes on the 23rd of December last year, and I don't even want them anymore. So
amazing. You had to compensate, put something else in your mouth.
That's right. That's right. It's that habit. And when I was thin like this, when I was 15, 16, I was smoking too. So all these things go back.
Oh my gosh.
And all these relatable kind of things come up. I don't really know how to explain that from a psychological point of view. All I can share is my experience with it. And there was a point in time where I hated it. I just hated smoking again. I hated the way it made my mouth feel, the smell of my clothes. My children wouldn't come outside and hang out with me. And, you know, there was just too many antisocial things about it. And it was easy to give up. Yeah. And now what I'm sensing as well as time goes on, I've got biscuits and lollies and all this sort of stuff in my house, but more and more I'm not reaching for them.
Yeah, you've retrained yourself.
It takes a while to change habits. What is it, 21 days to change a habit, Deb?
They say 21. I reckon more like 90 days. You know me with the 90 days thing. I think, it really builds momentum.
Yes, it really does. It really does. And in fact, a lot of my cycles in my business processes are 90-day cycles. 90
days. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, we've talked about so many different things. We've talked about starting your business. We've talked about being single, dating, health. Is that
authenticity?
Authenticity.
It's so important to be authentic. Yeah.
It is.
So now that I've released all this weight,
you
know, it can be a big weight on our shoulder. It is actually, figuratively speaking, it is a weight on us.
Yes.
To carry that around.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And you only ever realize it once it's gone, as how much you were dragging around.
Is there any other advice you'd like to leave our viewers with? Anything else that you'd like to give them before we finish?
Yeah, it's one that I really love. And when people ask me this, I still say the same thing, is to be an inspiration to others. Allow others to be an inspiration in your life.
Yeah, I love that. Beautiful. Thank you, Ady.
Thank you, Deb.
And
thank you so much.
Where can our viewers connect with you if they want to connect with you, or if they want to hear more about Painting Party?
Yeah. I'm a bit of an open book, so I'm happy to talk to people about my experience if it helps them move forward in their experience. The Painting Party website is probably the best place to go, paintingparty.com.au, and my phone number and LinkedIn, Facebook, all of my links are on that website, my email address, and I'm more than happy to talk to anyone and share my business with everyone. Learn to paint.
Yeah.
It's the best thing. It's the best thing. We've got a great process, and we also have a membership now, so you can be a member of Painting Party, save some dollars, but you're adding value to your own life by giving yourself that 4 hours of you time, because as women, we need it. We need it because we juggle a lot and we forget ourselves.
It's so true. Yeah, so true. And you can find the live link to Adriana's website in the description notes underneath this video there. So if you look in there, you'll be able to click on the live link and visit Adriana's website and able to connect with her from there. Wow, Ady, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm so honoured to be part of this and to be part of Women Reinventing Midlife TV. And did you say I'm your first cab off the rank?
You're my first intentional interview for this channel. Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be part of it. Yes, thank you so much.
I'm so glad you joined.
It's wonderful watching you grow over the years as well.
Thank you
for being part of our growth.
Thank you. And if you found this interview helpful, if you found it inspirational, then remember to give us a thumbs up. Remember to share the video with your friends. And if you'd like to see more interviews like this or receive more tips, then remember to subscribe to this channel and click the bell for notifications so you don't miss out. Ady, thank you so much. It's been absolutely fantastic.
More than welcome. It's been a pleasure.
And thank you everyone for joining us.